Ah yes, 40k and Harry Potter. A Venn diagram of fan bases that is just two circles. But regardless, here I am. I enjoy both of these franchises, despite their stark differences, and today I want to find out which houses the Chaos Gods of 40k would be sorted into if you were to place the sorting hat atop their malevolent heads. For those of you who are unfamiliar with 40k, I'm going to give you a brief background so that you can understand the Chaos Gods and what each of them represent. And even if you're familiar with the setting, this may be a good refresher for you if you forget the exact aspect of each of the deities of the warp. So let's begin. Warhammer 40k is a setting filled with gods and godlike characters, but today we will be focusing on the big four Chaos Gods of the warp. Starting with the latter, the warp is an ethereal mirror universe of our own that exists behind the veil of reality. To put it simply, in 40k, hell is real, and when you talk to the devil, he talks back. There are lots of complexities and nuances to the warp, but none of that's really important in this video. What is important is who controls the warp, and that would be the four Chaos Gods. If you're unfamiliar with what a Chaos God is, they are actually pretty simple despite their unfathomable nature. Basically, each god represents a facet of humanity, such as honor, death, the quest for knowledge, the pursuit of perfection. The Chaos Gods are essentially a manifestation of humanity's deepest and most secret desires. And actually not just humanity, but other races as well. But you won't catch me talking about any filthy Xenos scum here. There are also other gods besides the main four, but by and large the big four are the most powerful and most prominent in the 40k setting. So who are they? Their names are Slaanesh, Korn, Zinch, and Grandfather Nurgle. Each of them embodies different aspects of humanity, but contrary to popular belief, these are not limited to just negative aspects. Just like Slytherin is not an inherently evil house at Hogwarts, neither are the Chaos Gods representations of only evil aspects of humanity. Although, I wouldn't exactly call them benevolent either. But let's stop worrying about the details and get to the details. Starting with the easiest to understand, we have Korn, the blood god who sits atop the skull throne. Korn is the blood god, the lord of skulls, the lord of blood, the taker of skulls, the lord of rage. This swell fellow is the embodiment of murder, killing, war, destruction, and dueling. But also, Korn represents honor, one-on-one combat, facing down your enemy in the open with no tricks, kind of a survival of the fittest type beat. Korn is powered by humanity's endless capacity for war and destruction, usually represented by traditional imagery of the devil as well as flames and skulls. Korn is the easiest to understand of all the Chaos Gods. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Zinch, the Chaos God of Change, also known by titles like the Changer of Ways, the Lord of Change, the Lord of Entropy, the Great Conspirator. Zinch is a trickster god, all about lies and manipulation, the advancement of technology and understanding, making the unknowable known and furthering your own plot through lies, trickery, and ambition. Where Korn is a gladiator drenched in the blood of his foes, Zinch is a mad scientist willing to bring about the destruction of an entire civilization to uncover the truth behind life's greatest mysteries. Zinch gains worshippers from those who aspire for greatness and are willing to lie and manipulate their way to the top, and leave a staircase made of the bones of their enemies on the way there. But what if ambition and murder aren't your forte? What if you enjoy watching Sam Sulik videos and Asian baddie oiled up twerking compilations on TikTok? Don't worry, the Chaos Gods have got you covered. Let me introduce you to your next deity, Slaanesh, the Prince of Pleasure, the Lord of Excess, the Dark Princess. Slaanesh covers a wide range of indulgences, but to try to sum it up, Slaanesh is all about excess, the pursuit of perfection in all things. The Chaos God of pleasure, pain, hedonism, perfection, and decadence. Whether that be perfecting your body and mind, or more instinctual pleasures, Slaanesh is for all those who seek to reap the rewards of the nerve center to their most absolute extremes. And while Slaanesh may seem like a lesser evil compared to Korn or Zinch, remember that the pursuit of perfection is an endless quest, one that can never be truly obtained, even through body modification or lifetimes extended well beyond their mortal limit. Perfection is a Xeno's paradox that will pull you further and further along its path until you lose sight of yourself and eventually are left as nothing but a husk of what you once were. The same can be said for the pursuit of pleasure. Learn from the Aldari, who had everything and lost it all to she who thirsts. And finally, we arrive at the fourth and final Chaos God, Nurgle. Nurgle the Plague God, the Lord of Decay, Lord of Pestilence, Grandfather Nurgle, more ancient than all the others, the God of Death. Nurgle represents disease, decay, death, and despair. But as with the other Chaos Gods, it's not all doom and gloom. Nurgle also represents finality, an end to suffering, acceptance, coming to terms with yourself and your place within the universe. Nurgle is often represented by the state of his followers, plague and disease-ridden beings who bring rot and sickness to the battlefield. But this is an ignorant view of Papa Nurgle, for from the viewpoint of his followers there is no pain, no suffering, only the joy of spreading Nurgle's gifts to all those who they come across. Maybe to me and you, those gifts look like bloated corpses and walking hunks of rotten flesh, but that is only because our eyes cannot see the true manifestation of the gifts of Nurgle. Nurgle is for all those who wish to end their suffering, to learn to spread bliss among their peers, no matter what form it may take. To sum this all up, Korn, you gotta think of murder, blood, war. Zinch, think of lies, ambition, mystery, the pursuit of knowledge. Slaanesh, pain, pleasure, endless excess, perfection. Nurgle, diseased, rot, decay, death. Now that we know all about the Chaos Gods, let's turn our attention to the Hogwarts Houses. Given that Harry Potter is a much more popular franchise than 40k, I'm going to be a little bit less detailed here, but I still do want to give you a general overview of the Hogwarts Houses and what virtues each of them value. First, of course, Gryffindor, which values bravery, daring, chivalry, and nerve. Gryffindors are represented by a lion and by the colors red and gold. Second is Hufflepuff, whose house values hard work, dedication, patience, loyalty, and fair play. They are represented by a badger, and their colors are black and yellow. Next is Ravenclaw, who values intelligence, knowledge, curiosity, and creativity. They are represented by an eagle for some reason, and their colors are blue and bronze, the most aesthetically pleasing of the Hogwarts houses if you ask me. And lastly, we have Slytherin, a house that values ambition, leadership, self-preservation, cunning, and resourcefulness. They are represented aptly by a serpent, and their colors are green and silver. Now immediately, you might think a couple of these choices are obvious, but let's slow down and evaluate your options, because I think sorting these Chaos Gods is actually trickier than you might think. Like you might think, oh, obviously Korn goes into Gryffindor. I mean, come on, they're both red. But he could also go into Hufflepuff. I mean, hard work and fair play are two of Korn's core tenets. And he also fits into leadership and resourcefulness from Slytherin. But that's okay. As with many Hogwarts students, it is not that you don't have aspects of multiple houses within you, it's that those that shine most brightly will determine your house. Think about Hermione or Neville. Both could have easily been sorted into Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff respectively, but it's their bravery and loyalty that get them put into Gryffindor. So let's break out the sorting hat and get this sorted. First, let's start with the most obvious god to me, Zinch, which is ironic since he is the most complex of all the Chaos Gods, but it's pretty obvious that old Zinch belongs in Ravenclaw. The pursuit of knowledge and creativity, along with wit, just scream the aspects of our confusing boy here. Even curiosity can be interpreted as Zinch's pursuit of the unknown and determination to learn at all costs. Even their house mascot is representative of Zinch, as he is usually depicted alongside bird imagery. So Zinch is firmly in Ravenclaw. Unfortunately for me, I think that was the only obvious choice. So now let's return to Korn and see what we can make of our bloody friend. For starters, we can definitely eliminate Ravenclaw. Korn doesn't line up with any of their values, plus they're blue. Next, I think we can knock out Slytherin. While yes, Korn is very ambitious, so are all the Chaos Gods. They are gods, after all. And cunning is definitely not something you think of when thinking of Korn's aspects. So that leaves Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. But in the end, I think we're going to have to put the Blood God in Gryffindor. While yes, Hufflepuff's virtues of hard work and fair play do line up with our favorite can of vegetables, I just think that Gryffindor's virtues of daring, bravery, and nerve better embody what Korn looks for in his followers. So we're putting Korn in Gryffindor. So that's 2 down, 2 to go. Next up is the 4 nipple god themselves, Slaanesh. In this case, I think Slytherin is the best pick for the Prince of Pleasure. While leadership is not a virtue I would necessarily align with Slaanesh, self-preservation, ambition, and cunning definitely are. Self-preservation can even be seen as the pursuit of perfection in a way, obtaining the perfect body to overcome death. So bam, Slaanesh slithers into Slytherin. And finally, we have old Nurgle. One house he definitely does not belong in is Slytherin. Ambition and self-preservation do not sound like the cauldron attendant I know and love. Neither does Ravenclaw fit our bulbous boy. Nurgle does not concern himself with things like knowledge and intelligence. So we are left with Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. And here I think one word determines where the Sorting Hat would put Nurgle, and that is patience. Nurgle is nothing if not patient. Nurgle's followers tank immense damage until their bodies give out, patiently waiting for the finality of death. So with this, we sort our final Chaos God, Papa Nurgle, goes into Hufflepuff. Thank you so much for watching my silly little video. If you want me to sort any of your favorite Chaos Gods or characters in a future video, let me know in the comments, or if there are any other franchises that need to be sorted, I'm open to suggestions about those as well. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see ya next time.